Thanks for coming. We're going to talk about some water stuff today. So let's see. We're going to do some stuff with water today, and I'm going to share my screen for just a second. Yeah, awesome. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has a dish with some water that they can try to do this themselves, but this paper clip is actually, let me zoom in a little bit, floating in the water. Now, this is sort of our starting point. I've got a paper clip. Let me give it a little push. So it's actually, come on, Elmo. There we go. It's floating in the water, and I'm going to show you how you can do this. Where's me here? Here I am. So the way I did this, I'll start over. Let me dry it off. All right, I'm going back to me. So I've got a paper clip, and I'm making it nice and dry on my shirt here. Okay, so if you take the paper clip and you can make a little sort of harness out of one of them, if you have two paper clips, and you put it on like this, and then I'll go back over to my Elmo here, and you sort of gently lower it down into the water. Look at that. Sucker floats. And so is anybody else doing this at home? If anybody else manages to do this, by all means, take a picture and post it to Classroom. I would love to see if you're able to do this. And I'm going to try to come in even a little closer so you can see that it's actually following, and you can see the water sort of like bending right where it makes contact. Hold on. So you can see kind of that the water almost seems to warp a little bit and is actually holding up the paper clip. I've sort of pushed my camera to the full extent of its ability to focus here, but anyway, I'm going to bring it back up. Oh, actually, you can see it really well in that shot. You can see sort of right here how the water is holding it up. So does anybody want to, I'm going to take the share out here. Does anybody want to take a guess as to why that is happening? That's your first question then, which is, why is that happening? So if you are able to, Elijah says it's the surface tension. Yes, surface tension is absolutely correct. And okay, so what about this? Does anybody know which of the forces that we're talking about with water leads to surface tension? I don't know how long the recording stopped. But anyway, we've got surface tension and cohesion, which are leading to our water molecule floating in the water. What I'm talking about is how the negative oxygen attracts the positive hydrogen of the next water molecule, not the same one. So what you see is these dotted lines between the molecules. And what that's indicating is an attraction. It's not like a full bond, like hydrogen and oxygen in a single water molecule are bonded to each other, but these are just sort of attracted to each other. It's like a slight magnetic charge that keeps them kind of attracted. And when you add that up to the trillions and gazillions of molecules that are in any glass of water or whatever, it means that on the surface the molecules are attracted to each other. It gives a surface for the insect to stand on because they're making a force that goes across. So that's the so that's the first demonstration. The paperclip floating on the water. What is going to happen is I'm going to post a few questions at the end of this that will be things that I want you to answer on the bottom of that doc that you're already working on. So the unit study guide, the self-directed guide, just all the way at the bottom under the other boxes, just go ahead and put answers to these questions. So the first one is going to be, why does the paperclip float on the water? And so I want to move on to the second one, if I could. I made myself some nice blue colored water here so that I can show you the next part. What I'm going to do, I have a sheet of plastic wrap. I also have a microscope slide. I'm going to unzoom a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place a couple drops of water on those. Okay, so one of those drops is on glass, right? Glass. And another one of these is on plastic wrap. And so let me ask a question. When we talk about the stuff from our water chapter, glass is a polar molecule. Plastic is a non-polar molecule, meaning that glass is like water. It also has a little bit of a magnetic charge separation, whereas plastic doesn't. And you can see that in the way that water acts when you put it on both of these. And if anybody is doing this, able to do this at home, I would love to see a picture of what you got. But what I want to do is I want to switch this around and I want to show it to you from the side. Frustrating. Well, looks so good there for a second. I'm going to put it back in the regular view. All right. That is the drop on plastic. And next to it is the drop on glass. All right. So the question is, how are they different? It's really easier to tell if you look at them from the side, but what do you notice about them? They're the same size drops, or they're the same amount in each drop. Let me stop the share here for a second. Very good. Brianna says the one on glass is spread out, and Julius says the one on the wrap is more of a bead, and that's what I'm talking about. Very good. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Let me show you a different picture. Does anybody want to make a guess in the chat or otherwise as to why that is? Why is the one on glass more spread out? Right, that's right. Ariana says too, the one on glass is flat and the one on the plastic is in a bubble. Thank you, Ari. That is correct. And so anybody want to make a guess as to why? And I guess I would remind you that glass is polar, like water, and plastic is nonpolar. I'm going to give that a second. Brianna says, would it be adhesion with the water wanting to stick to the glass more? And that is a big part of it too, because, well, water is attracted to glass because it's polar, right? And it's not attracted to the plastic as much. Let me share another picture that I found. There's another water droplets picture that I have from when we did this lab in class one time. We use some plastic and somebody made this, and you can really see that on plastic that water pulls together compared to on glass. Let me see if I can find the right picture. There it is, believe it or not. On wax paper or plastic, the water forms a bead because the water is actually attracted to itself. And so without any attraction here to the plastic, there's no real attraction because there's no adhesion between the water and the plastic. The water is left to its own forces, and so it pulls together into a nice round bead. But on glass, because glass is polar and the water is attracted to it, it spreads out. Like it's like trying to get as close to that water as it can. And so that is a little look at how adhesion and cohesion work. Let me pop up here. This is a good way to think about adhesion and cohesion. Cohesion, co means together, right? water molecules have cohesion with each other. They are attracted to each other. And adhesion is when water is attracted to other things that are polar. And so water has adhesion with the glass, but when it doesn't have that on the plastic, when it doesn't have adhesion on the plastic, it just pulls together with itself because it doesn't have anything pulling at it from underneath here.